This is the Park Shore Coin and Collectibles Hour with your host, Scott Heiligman, on Fox Sports Radio. Today, we will discuss all the latest information and hottest trends on everything from coins and sterling silver to baseball cards, vintage toys, and a whole lot more. Find information about the show at www.parkshorecoin.com. That's www.parkshorecoin.com. And now, your host, Scott Heiligman.
Welcome to this week's Park Shore Coins and Collectibles Hour. We're in the studio with owner of Park Shore Coins and Collectibles, Scott Heiligman.
Another beautiful Saturday morning.
Hey, we're in paradise. Of course it's beautiful.
Exactly.
Even when it's raining, it's beautiful. We love Southwest Florida, and we love collectibles. Collectibles, what would we say? If we were a toy store, it'd be collectibles are us.
That's right.
Collectibles are
We'd
us.
be parkshorecoin.com.
They're parkshorecoin.com. You want to learn about collectibles? Visit parkshorecoin.com.
That's right.
That's the
all
way
you
to
need
do
to
it.
know.
In Scott's business, he owns Park Shore Coins and Collectibles here in Southwest Florida. Has his location there off of Immokalee Road in the Strand Business Park.
Right off of 75.
Right off 75. You can get there quickly from either direction.
Yep.
If you've listened to the show before, you know that we talk about all things collectibles. And we talk about everything, all kinds of cool stuff. If you're new to the show, we talk about all things collectibles, all kinds of cool stuff. But in particular, we talk about things that you may have, you may own, you may have collected, and things that you may not even be aware of that are worth money that Scott can buy from you.
And liquidate.
If you need cash, his company can give you cash. That's the most important thing. And it's quick, it's safe.
That's right.
You know, you're dealing with an honest, respectable
One-on-one. You're usually just dealing with me. It's a one-man show.
One-man show.
Yep.
You can call him, 239-961-0816, or visit parkshorecoin.com. Scott, over the past, 4 or 5 months, we've invited listeners to text or email questions that we may use in our future show. And we always like to start off the show we have lately with one of the questions that a listener has.
Sure.
And in this case, it's a text that came to you from Stacy in Estero.
Hey, Stacy.
She says, I'm trying to read this and make sure I don't mess it up. Let's see. I was a music teacher, doesn't say where, and I'm retired. I have several musical instruments.
Very nice.
Doesn't say what they are, but she's collected musical instruments. Will you take a look at them?
Absolutely. It's like what we talked about last week. We want to find new homes for these items, right? So that's going to be the main objective, and I think that's probably Stacy's main objective too, is to, especially probably as a music teacher or former music teacher, let's put these instruments back to use.
Yeah.
Let's see what they're worth. And let's raise a few dollars in the interim. Let's get you some money in your pocket.
Sure.
Because that's kind of why we're in business. We're trying to, put money in your pocket, make a few bucks, and then, recycle that item so somebody else can enjoy it at a lesser price. Because to buy new items, as you know, inflation, things keep becoming more and more and more expensive on these new items. New items, prices are going higher and higher and higher. You're going to see a little bit of breaks on the used items. Why buy new when gently used will do? Mm-hmm. That's going to start creeping up more and more, I think, as, a little more turmoil happens. There's more unknowns in the economy. We're going to, inflation's here. I mean, it's right in front of our eyes, so we're going to cut back. We're already getting less items, for the buck. Things are becoming lighter. Right. My rolls of tape for my shipping department are much, much smaller now from Uline that they used to be. So these little things, they add up.
Right.
And so it's always nice to, put a few more bucks in your pocket, and, we do what we can, for sure.
Yeah, and when you're
It can be
things,
good, though, but a lot of times it comes down to condition, comes down to the maker. Now, musical instruments, they made knock-around ones, too, for kids and for band kids.
Right.
Those ones typically aren't going to be worth too terribly much money.
Right.
Because then we also get into the shipping of the items, because I'm an online dealer.
Right.
I sell everything online,
Right.
My precious metals, yes. A lot of them do sell locally, but...
Coins,
too, but it sells online. So if it's going to be too expensive to ship and too heavy, then that becomes an issue.
Right.
But sometimes musical instruments, they can, get up there, especially violins and some of the older items and the acoustic guitars and things of that nature. It can be good. So the best thing is for her to bring them in or text me pictures and make and model. And since she was a teacher, she'll know what the make and model usually are. Yeah. If it's a baritone, if it's an alto, all these little details, and then I can look it up.
Well, so buying musical instruments is an example here. Is
Yes,
just
just
buying
one more thing.
like buying baseball cards or
They
coins.
have value.
Yeah,
You
but
got
it's
to
all
know somebody.
conditioned.
It's all conditioned.
Yeah,
Yep, and you got to know how to play it to test it too.
right,
There can be issues. So
right.
luckily, I have a little experience in that, but
Yeah.
it's not as
I
easy
wonder
as
if
it sounds.
Stacy could
She'll have
bring
to play
she
a
could bring
few
them to
notes.
you and show you how these all work. Here's
For
the
sure, no, that is
saxophone.
absolutely part of the.
Yeah.
When somebody tries to sell me something and I don't know how to play it, you have to show me how to play it.
Right.
And if you don't know how to play it, that's a problem.
Yeah. Because I don't know if
And
it's
that
in working
stinks
order.
because a lot of times people do inherit.
Right.
You know.
Well, musical instruments are a good example of this. The condition is one thing, but their viability,
And playability.
as far as, playability.
Sure, and how they sound. I mean, the price, and that's another thing you got to really know if you're going to be an online retailer like
Right.
me. I have to be very careful what I take in.
Yeah. Well, we talked about in the show last weekend. We talked about the risk that you take with when it comes to gold and silver and jewelry and precious, diamonds, gems, whatever. There's a lot at stake, and you would think, well, musical instruments couldn't be that difficult, but in reality, yeah.
Yeah, they can be.
If they say reed instruments, if they're not taken care of,
Yes,
you could have valve issues.
exactly.
And all of
Preventative
a sudden,
maintenance,
Yeah.
exactly. You don't know who's owned it prior to that.
Right.
Usually they've been sitting in the closet for 25 years. Excuse me. So then to get it up to par to resell that somebody can use it, that's going to cost money too to have it serviced.
right.
So all these things, take time and resources, and we can do it, but it's just part of the process.
Right.
But
Well-
it's not, a service we offer to our customers. Not many places will take the time to research,
Right.
the items you have. And we talked a few weeks ago. I bought a large Zippo collection. Been slowly selling them. Huge demand for those.
Right.
I mean, it's just been crazy how many people bid on them and what they're selling for. So, people can collect all different types of items. Those are just regular Zippos that people picked up along the line, brand new, in
Sure.
the 90s, that
Right.
now are worth 2-3 times more money than what they were.
So you don't, in other words, someone that has things may not know what things are worth, but in a
Exactly.
current market, it could be worth a lot more than they think.
Yeah, especially with jewelry.
Right. And that's why
'Cause
they
gold's
should come
almost,
to you.
yeah, it's high priced right now for gold.
Right.
Yeah, no, when people bring it in and they go through their drawer and they bring in their old class ring and they bring in their old earrings and their old bracelet, they're usually shocked
Right.
when they get the final ticket.
So they can visit you online at your website,
Yeah.
parkshorecoin.com. They can send you a picture on the phone or a picture to your website. Your website's pretty good. It's interactive.
Oh, for sure.
It gives you an idea of what you buy and sell. It shows you some interaction you have with customers, with clients. You've got a lot of regular clients that
Yes.
buy from you and sell to you. Don't be afraid to reach out.
Nope.
I mean, that's the key.
Don't
Don't
be
be afraid
shy.
to reach out. 239-961-0816 is the number. Your text friendly.
I prefer text because usually I'm with a customer
Yeah.
and I can't answer the phone and talk. So if you can text, I can usually, sneak
Right.
one in.
Right. Well, there's so much information, Scott, on your website that if you just want to get to know, if somebody wanted to get to know your business, want to get to
Yes.
know you, they can do so
It's a great place to start.
with a visit to the website,
Yep.
parkshorecoin.com, or come by and see you at the office
Stop by anytime.
anytime.
9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. during the week, and then Saturday I'm there from 11 to 3.
Okay, that's to let them know. And you're right off of Immokalee
Right
Road.
off Mockley and 75.
Right,
In a 3-story building called the Strand Executive Center. You can't miss it.
right,
You just turn on the Strand Boulevard, and I'm right there on the left-hand side, on the west-hand side.
right. So if you're driving down from Fort Myers or coming up from Marco Island,
Marco.
boom, it's easy
Yeah,
to do.
Northport. Some people are coming down from.
Easy to do.
Sell
Reaching
their
out,
stuff,
reach out to
yeah.
you. Yeah, absolutely.
When you pay top dollar, they'll come from all over. And if they do find someone they trust and want to work with that, I'm learning, is very important to a lot of people.
Yes.
I just kind of took it for granted that I do honest business and that I'm here. That's kind of how I do it. It's not the norm,
Right.
and just people, everyone's raised differently. Some people just don't trust that well, and then they find someone, then they'll drive to do business with them.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Because they don't know, especially when you're doing things that you're cashing out, things you've held on to for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should make us feel bad about our fellow man that we don't trust. We should trust. I mean, you come with a lot of recommendations.
Oh, yeah. That's not the
And
reality, though.
I know that's not the reality. But anyway, you specialize in all collections, whether they're large or small, whatever they are, whether it's jewelry, whether it's coins,
Yep.
whether it's collectibles. You've worked with people that have watch collections,
Estate sales. You have a whole
toys-
estate, you know. You got a whole
estate.
thing. You need to go through the coins and jewelry. You need to know what it's worth. You need someone to buy it all so you can divvy it up.
Sure.
I'll help. Be happy to help.
And you will go to a storage locker. You'll go to a bank.
House calls.
Make house calls.
Absolutely.
That's a big deal.
Yes. Yeah. I usually have to come after hours, you know, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And I can bring all the tools and come to you. You show me what you have, and be happy to buy it.
Right.
Then you don't have to. Some people don't have the ability to drive in or the strength to carry it in, or they just have too much stuff, and they just want to plop open the safe and throw it all on the table and say, "What are you going to give me for it?" And that's what I do. And then I'll spend 4 hours at the house. It happened a couple weeks ago.
And you just go through
All
things
night,
one at a time.
Yeah, all one at a time for 4 hours.
Yeah. I bet you find some interesting things.
Yeah, so just hopefully they're selling because you don't want to go through all of it and then like, yeah, I want to hang on to it. It's like, well, it's been fun going through your 5-hour collection.
I just wanted
Can
to
I
find
bring
out
one
what it was
coin with me, please?
Make it worth my while. Let me buy something.
But people are selling, exactly.
Yeah.
No,
But if
the
they reach
price is
that
right
point-
for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I go out there and usually they sell. I haven't had that issue yet, but
Are you finding that you meet a lot of people that have long-term collections?
yeah, very long.
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 years longer.
You know, maybe this generation.
None of them are less than 20.
Yeah. We learned a long time ago, if you're going to collect. Be passionate about it. A lot of people are passionate. I know that you got an email from Steve in Naples the other day and he said this. He said, I have several of those blue books, quotation marks, blue books of coins that I've collected as a kid, pennies, nickels, dimes, and quarters. Can I send you some pictures?
Yeah, those are called Whitman books.
Whitman books.
They were, I believe, manufactured in a small town called Racine, Wisconsin. And listen, that's what collectors would do. You would pull out circulated coins, and they have every single date of that run of coin. So all the Mercury dimes would have every single 1916, 1917 DS. All the mint marks will be pre-labeled, and there's like a little hole for that coin. So you can fill out every coin. You say which coin you have for the whole collection. They're called Whitman books.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, they have them for every denomination.
Right.
My office probably has stacks of them. I mean, that's probably what I see the most of.
Whitman books.
Books of Whitman, you know, because that's what the junk silver's in.
Sure.
And they just bring them in. It's usually always just silver value, 90%. But that's what people would collect them in. That's what they would keep them in. Now we keep them in tubes. You know, we put them in circular tubes or bankrolls because you can just store so many more.
Right.
Those books are just, I don't keep them in those anymore. They were good back in the day for collecting if you just wanted to collect. But now we have other ways of doing it.
Well, you threw out a term there
buy
when,
'em.
when you were talking about Whitman books.
Yeah.
And that is junk silver.
Yeah.
So if somebody brings you dimes or
Yes.
quarters, they look like they're all silver. And you have to explain to them, no, only those that are pre-1964
That's right.
are silver. And there's this, what is it, 90% content?
That's right. And then 1965 to 1969, the half dollars
Okay.
were 40% silver,
Okay.
which is somewhat significant because a
and-
lot of people have half dollars.
Right.
And a lot of people have Kennedy half dollars, and this is where they get the most confused. The 64s are 90% silver. And then the other thing about the 64s, they're always going to be in pristine condition, which we call brilliant uncirculated. So a lot of people will be under the impression that they're just worth tremendously much more money. But they were only in circulation 1 year, 1964. So that's why they had very little wear to them. So it's not that uncommon to find. And then the 65 to 69, same thing. And they're worth, $2.50, $3 each.
Right.
Still, it's something.
And if you've
And then
accumulated.
Yeah, that the 64 and older is the ones you want. The dimes, quarters, half dollars. And then, of course, the Morgan and silver dollars and the trade dollars are prior to that. And the
Right.
seeded dollars.
No, trade dollar.
Yeah.
That's an interesting name.
Bring them in.
Why, how did something like that get its name? Do you know how trade
Because
dollars?
they were just used for trade. That's why it was initially dollars were brought into circulation. It's just a foreign trade thing.
Okay.
So we could go to Europe and trade and barter with them.
Right,
So it was a trade dollar.
right.
Yeah.
Well, we, as a country,
That was a lot of money back then, too.
yeah, we
Yeah,
created,
a
we
dollar.
always think of, Liberty dimes, Roosevelt dimes, Washington quarters.
Barber
but
dimes are further
Barbers were
back.
one.
Seeded dimes.
Yeah. If you look at the history of
Those
our
are the
nation,
good ones. Yeah.
we've got some those were silver.
Oh,
That was back when a coin was worth a coin.
90%. Yeah. Or
Yeah.
money was worth money.
Money was worth money. But so if you've been collecting coins or jewelry or watches or
Or Zippo lighters
Zippo
or
lighters.
anything. I've had Tasmanian Devil fan bring me everything I think we talked about this. He was a professional bowler, and his nickname was the Tasmanian Devil. And he had a fan that literally bought him every Tasmanian Devil item ever made. Now, not one item was really resellable. It was I couldn't do anything with it, but I tried, and we went through it. But they were all $15 items.
Right.
They still had the tags on them.
Wow.
But it was very difficult to move them. But
Wow.
yeah, any little thing could be collectible.
Anything can
You
be
know,
collectible.
bottle taps. People even have old glass bottles. I've been getting a lot of calls on that. Marbles. Some very cool marble collections.
You know what?
But the common ones are baseball cards,
Yeah.
jewelry,
Yeah.
coins,
You mentioned
records. I don't like dealing with. I get a lot of calls about records. And here's the
Records.
thing with records.
Okay.
You know, people they don't use it for music much anymore, but the shipping is so expensive.
Okay.
You know. It's
Yeah,
very-
and you've got to be careful with them too. You don't want to break them.
you got to have you got to have Beatles,
Yeah.
you know, Elvis,
The names.
the names.
Yeah.
There's
I mean,
a few that
it's-
are worth some, but overall, there's a very tough market there.
You know, we're talking about a broad range of collectibles in this segment.
Sure.
And last month you talked about, you mentioned just a minute ago, marbles.
Yeah,
That some marbles are very valuable,
very valuable.
very elaborate the way they were
Very-
made, blown glass,
Hand blown glass.
beautiful. Some of them are works of art,
Yes.
and they're
They're
treated that
beautiful. Mm-hmm.
way. People that collect them are passionate about them.
Oh yeah.
Very, very passionate. But yeah, if you want to reach out to Scott, you want to talk collectibles, whether it's Zippo lighters or Tasmanian devils. No Tasmanian devils.
No.
He's done that. Marbles,
Jewelry,
coins,
serving
jewelry,
silverware. Yeah.
watches.
You know the routine.
Absolutely.
Antiques. You know.
Yep. 239-961-0816. Very text friendly.
Yes.
Matter of fact, he's told listeners before, he's happy to take a text at any time because a lot of times he's with clients.
Yep.
You can text him, tell him what you have, attach a picture. It's always good.
Yep.
A lot of times he's going to have to see it, but at least he can get the conversation
Yeah, and that's
started.
a lot of times what the customer's looking for too. They just want to know what they have.
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't even know what they have, and they find out that all they have to do is take a picture of it and send it to me to find out. That's great too.
Well, and if you don't know,
You know.
you have the resources to find out. You've got a whole lot of
Oh,
people behind
yeah.
you, of
Yes.
professionals that know
Yes.
about specific types of collectibles.
Absolutely.
And believe it or not, in that world, there are people that specialize in
You always-
collectibles.
Yes, you always want a second and third opinion when you're forking out your money.
Yeah.
Even the most, guys who have been in business for 40 years, watch dealers, they'll ask for a second, third opinion
Yeah.
on items.
Well,
Yeah,
and-
'ca- I
and
mean, you'd think they would know how to authenticate it, but you just never know.
sometimes they have
Be
to take
very
it
careful.
apart. Take a watch
Yes,
apart.
Every little thing.
Yeah, you have to look at the watch.
You have
If-
to have a network of people that you trust and know their stuff, and you'll
Right.
be able to, put everyone's brain together, and you'll come up with a solution.
Well, looking at a Rolex watch, Scott, is a lot different than looking at marbles or
Yes.
junk silver. It requires a lot of thought, a lot of questions. You've got to be able to match up serial numbers. If you've got the paperwork for something that you bought, the box it came in,
That helps.
all of these things are helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
And you
Oh.
tell your clients that.
For sure. Rolex is, a lot of times you just have to pop the band, look
Yeah.
at the serial number. You can tell a lot of things though just under magnification.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Rolex makes such high precision items,
Yeah.
high quality that fakes just can't do. That's what makes it a Rolex.
Right.
So like the little details are just not there,
Yeah.
and how they feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You've said
you
that.
just have to take the time to go through it, and then you have to know the customer.
Mhm.
If they have the box and the paperwork, versus if not, just someone just drops it in front of you, like willy nilly.
Mhm. Yeah, you're always going to, the fewer questions you have to ask, the better.
Yeah,
If the answers are right in front of you. Now,
exactly.
we did a show, I think it was back in February, on diamonds. Diamonds are the same way.
Yeah,
If you've got knowledge, a lot of people have a little bit of knowledge, but diamonds are a big deal.
Yeah.
And the more paperwork you have, the better. The origins.
yes
the-
and no. Paperwork is usually
Can
trash.
Can be, yeah.
It's very unuseful.
Okay. So,
There's some paperwork that's good from GIA. It's
Right.
the only paperwork that's good.
right.
Anything else that comes from a jeweler or even comes from a third
Okay.
party, they mean very little.
So if they bought it from a retailer, yeah.
You want the GIA certification.
Yes.
You always want that with the diamond anytime you buy one.
right.
And you can always get one. You can mail it in and get one. Then it's concrete. This is what you have.
See, that makes
It's
makes
just
life a lot easier for you.
For everyone, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they laser inscribe it. So
Yeah.
you can actually see the serial number in the stone now.
Yeah.
So that's great for authentication. Because they do. They make lab-grown diamonds, though. That are very hard to distinguish.
Yeah.
And we have to put them in special machinery.
Mhm. We've had listeners that have written into you in the past about concerning diamonds, and you've told them before you take it to a jeweler and trade it in for nothing, because a lot of times they won't give you much for
A lot of
a
times
diamond.
store credit. They want you to
Right.
buy something
They
new.
want you to buy something. Bring it to Scott.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take a look at
Yeah,
it.
you'll get a cash bid for it.
Yeah.
You'll be done with it.
And you'll pay right on the spot,
Right on
too.
the spot, yeah.
Right on the spot, whether it's a check, cash, money transfer, you'll take care of it.
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
if it's an item you're just not ready to get rid of and you want a more closer to a retail price for it, we can do consignment too.
Mhm.
Like if you're like, Scott, well, I think it's worth a little bit more. Let's put it on the auction block.
Yeah.
I can take it on a consignment and wait for the customer. Because on jewelry, a lot of times it is waiting game.
Right.
You have to wait for the right customer to come along who wants to spend money on that piece.
So you'll
Where
you'll
coins
manage.
you can dump in a
Right.
second. You
Right.
can just flip them because it's an investment piece. Jewelry is much more complicated, time consuming. You have to clean it. You got to make sure everything's good to go. It's
Right.
just a lot more complicated to resell things like that. So all that comes into play.
So that's an aspect of your business that people may not be aware of. If they want cash immediately, you've got it.
Absolutely.
If you want Scott, to manage the sale of an item,
Yeah.
you
We
can
can
do
do
that
that
as
and
well.
give you part cash up front,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a great idea.
For sure. A lot of them do that. Here's half it up front. We'll figure out the rest once we get it through the auction in 2 months, and we'll see what it is.
You know what? You got a professional on your side.
Yep.
239
Like a broker.
961. Yeah.
0816. Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt you. Yeah.
And a broker, yeah.
That's what I want to do. I want to facilitate and transact.
Right.
That's what I do. So when somebody brings in a fake Rolex and they don't even know it's fake, they inherited it. It's been sitting in their drawer, and they're all disappointed, and that it's fake, and that I had to tell them it was that. Like, I don't want to have to. I want it to be real.
Right.
I want all your stuff to be real because I want to be able to transact.
Sure.
That's how we make money.
Sure.
That's how we stay in business, by your stuff being real, and then by us producing with a very good offer.
Mhm.
Does nobody any good by having fake stuff. That's why we take it so seriously to get it off the market.
That's a good question. I know that we talked about before we came into the studio today, because of the economy and because of the price of gold and silver and inflation and all the things that are
Gasoline.
going on out there. You're seeing a lot of reproductions, fakes, things that aren't real,
Oh, yeah.
whether it's coins, whether it's jewelry. You see it all. And you said that there's been an uptick in it in the last couple of months. And you think it's
Absolutely.
related to the economy.
Absolutely.
You're seeing it.
Yeah.
Misprinted
Well, that
things.
and-
Yeah.
well, that- and you can now buy it on the internet, on Alibaba. This wasn't even an option 10 years ago.
Right.
Alibaba, you can pull it up right now on the website. You can go in and put American Silver Eagles. They'll be on there for 15. You can buy them on there.
Yeah.
Fake ones.
Fake ones.
Yeah. I mean, they'll say 1 ounce Silver Eagles, $14.99 with the tube and the green thing.
Isn't it amazing?
And people won't even know. And it's in China. There's nothing you can do. And they will show up in a week. And people will have 25. You get a monster box of them for $300, and people go around to people like me, or they'll go on Craigslist and try to sell them to unbeknownst people
Right.
onto these small apps where there's no accountability. That's the thing with the internet now. Like, it's good that I have an establishment and a business. A lot of people go on and transact themselves.
Yeah.
They work as their own entity, even though they're not an entity, because Facebook allows them to.
Mhm.
But now you don't know who you're doing business with, and that's when counterfeits, really start becoming a problem.
What are the things that you notice when you have a counterfeit? Let's use
They just
let's use
look
a
cheap.
silver eagle. Immediately, is it the feel? Is it the look? Is it
Silver
the
Eagle
gloss?
is no, not the look. They look identical.
Okay.
It's the feel.
The weight.
It's the weight. Well, yeah, you put it on a scale. If it's not 31.3 grams, it's over at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So if it's 31.9, it's done. The U.S. Mint's 31.3.
31.3.
Very hard they screw it up. A lot of times they'll be 26. The ones I put on the other day were 20. They're off by 5 grams.
That's a lot.
That's night and day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
So
feel
that's what I'm
when
saying.
you,
The people who are buying it, they don't know. They're just trying to invest.
right?
They're literally first-time investors. Oh, I'm going to buy some silver. Maybe they're not even in tune with what the market is right now.
Right.
And that maybe they see, well, spot price is $21.50. Well, maybe it isn't that terrible of a deal that they're selling them for $19.50. It's $1 less.
Right.
Even though I know that you can't find them for less than $36 right now. But
Yeah.
if you're a first-time investor, oh, they're $1 cheaper here than spot. Let's order them. Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
There's a reason, but they don't know that if you're first time, if you're just getting into it,
Yeah.
And you buy everything online, that's kind of how it goes. You learn the hard way,
Right.
And
I
but
know
you don't have to.
Ian, in the past
Mm-hmm.
has asked you about ways to get into the collectibles market, the best way to hedge against inflation, and you said junk silver was a good starting point.
Absolutely.
The same
Most
way
cost
here,
effective.
with what we're talking about here. It's
Yeah.
a lot harder to fake junk silver. I'm
Yeah.
guessing.
Yeah, they didn't really fake it.
No.
What they did fake were the numismatic coins.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
the rare, the first year of the dime, the 1916D.
Yeah.
That's the valuable mercury dime.
So
They'll
where-
make a fake one of that. They'll make a fake 1909 SVDB penny, but they're not going to make a wheat penny just from a normal date fake or normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's enough value and enough money to be had,
Sure.
somebody's gonna try to fake it.
Oh, yeah.
And we can always count on.
Oh, yeah, and you'll
I hate
count
to
on the-
sound ugly, but we can always count on the Chinese to try to do it.
Well, they've been doing it for years. Like
Yeah.
counterfeiting, that's
Everything-
what they do.
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So why
It's
wouldn't they
nothing-
do that? Why wouldn't they do American silver eagles?
Oh, gold eagles they do. Oh, you can buy gold eagles on Alibaba.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You would think that they.
Oh, and you can get them
legitimate-
in. You can get them in a slab. You can get them in an NGC slab. You can buy them in a certified slabs, fake. So they're now putting them in slabs where, I saw one on the dealer network the other day. It was very tough to tell the difference between this fake gold eagle. They're making them very good now within the last year.
Yeah. So you've
Yeah.
got to be careful.
Oh yeah, you got to be very careful. Well, the precision, from the eye, and you can't weigh a gold eagle when they're in the certification slab.
Right. Okay. Well,
You know what I'm saying?
that's
Because they're
way
in a
around
slab.
it. Yeah.
So the slabs have a weight, but then you got to figure that it's just another way. And if you can't touch or feel the gold, it makes it much more difficult to know. So you have to pop it out, or I have machines that X-ray it,
Right.
so that helps. But not your average person doesn't have that.
Well, if
You
you're,
know, and I have the
yeah, if you're an average person out there, and you're
buy
listening
from
to
somebody.
Scott,
That's why I say buy from somebody you trust. Deal with somebody you trust.
right?
That's the bottom line, and buy locally.
Buy locally.
Yeah.
Visit Scott at 239-961-0816
Yes.
or his website at parkshorecoin.com. He is local. He is in Southwest Florida. He's in North Naples, right off of Immokalee Road, and he will help you. At the very least, you're going to make a friend. You're not sure if you've got something, if you're not sure if it's got value, bring it to the expert. Let him take a look.
Only one way
he
to
can
find
tell you
out.
there's only one way to find out. Either way, you'll either
I'll
be
be honest with
relieved or you'll be happy.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah,
right.
I'll let you know the truth.
So bring it in. Let him take a look. You're in the business park off of Immokalee Road
Yeah.
and
Brand executive.
Strand Executive Center, and it's easy to get to. Whether you're coming from Marco Island or Fort Myers or further out, just come and get right off the highway. It takes you 2 minutes off the highway.
Boston, Massachusetts, just right down the street.
There you go. Either way, you get to Scott. He's going to help you out. Go to his website, parkshorecoin.com. We're going to take a break. When we
Oh,
come back, we're going to be
already.
talking more about collectibles.
That went fast.
Yeah.